morning, good afternoon, whatever time zone it is for you. So good to see you. My gosh, look at this. Look at the turnout. That was amazing. I'm going to go put you guys all on the screen here real quick. And let's look at this. Put all your cameras on, shall we? Ramona, you're there. Fantastic. Jillian, Tammy, you're on already. Zan as well. Constance, Jenny, Marie, Shannon, Bob. Oh my gosh, so good you're here. Jane, Julie, Zofia, Cher, Dana. Amazing. It's so awesome that you're here. You know what? If you could, raise your hands if you're a guest, if you were invited by someone. Who is here was invited by someone. I would love to see that. That's amazing. And by the way, remember, make sure that you do put your cameras on because it's definitely something that's powerful and deals with, what's going on inside. And this is a big deal because a lot of us, for instance, were afraid to go on to the camera, not realizing that not doing that actually affects everything. So anyways, with that being said, make sure that you're showing yourself and allowing yourself to be here. Oh my goodness. So, anyways, yeah, this is going to be I guess you say, an important event. And throughout this event, you might find some challenges inside when it comes to making the changes. But overall, this is about changing the perspective that you have about yourself inside. So, with that being said, I'm going to say make sure that you're here ready to take notes, ready to apply, ready to shift your belief system, because that's really what it's all about. If you don't shift your belief system, then you're not going to do things that you need to do. Remember, everything, is rooted in belief. And, that's a wonderful thing for all of you to write down right now as well, by the way, is, I will never go further than what I believe to be true. And again, you do have this belief about yourself, of which is, delivering an outcome in your life. But with that being said, if you don't like it, you can change it. You can make the shift and move on. So, anyways, with that being said, again, make sure you have something to take notes with. Make sure you're here immersive. Make sure that you shut the door and you rid yourself from any outside influences at all whatsoever, and allow yourself to be in this. And then with this, I'm going to share with you a little bit about the outline, about what we're going to go through, because we're doing something that we have not done before, which is really super cool. We have 3 meditations that we're going to be going through, all of which deal with making a shift in, what you believe to be true, the idea that you've accepted inside of you. And so there will be an opening meditation in just a little bit after we talk a little bit about more the importance of shifting that, where the first meditation is about rewriting your self-image, rewriting the script. And then after that, we go into living it. In other words, embodying that star within. And then last but not least, it's anchoring the star within. Okay. And you're going to find it's really awesome as we go through this. The first one is about tapping into it. Second one is about, okay, now that you're here in the present moment now, what does it feel like? And then it taps into the future afterwards about, oh, hey, you know what? This happened. And again, with this, by the way, it's important that you allow yourself to go through it and use the information. Remember, this information is useless unless you apply it, okay? Unless it's something that you are using in your life. You can look at it this way, and you've heard me say this before, all information is static, it's passive. The only way that what we're going to share with you is going to help you is if you use it, if it's dynamic. All right. So with this being said, if you can all go ahead and I'm going to put you back on the screen here. And remember, show yourselves, put your cameras on, all of you. And then if you could all go ahead and unmute and say hi, right? Hey, everybody. So good to see you.
Hey.
All right.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, everyone.
Hey, Hotwit.
Hello.
Awesome.
Hi.
So good.
Family.
Good morning.
Good morning. All right. So um this is so fun, huh? So okay, so with this, I'm going to go ahead and before we dive into this to uh, pull out a little bit more about, what your expectations are about this, what led you here, and also, how you plan on using this. But before we do that, let's pull up Dolly here so she can say some things. Okay, here we go.
I really liked that you had everyone say hello so that we can tune into everyone's energy that's here. We haven't completely plugged in just yet. Hi, Constance. I love. I can feel you. Before we plug in, I know we do have a video that we were going to share with all of you. And I'll share more of why I felt so called to bring Bob Proctor in again. And you guys will hear the story of how Troy and I also too, you could say, just like the yellow brick road, as you all trust your path, you meet the right people along the way. And Bob Proctor, who is known to be the world leader in human potential and success. He is my Merlin, if you will. That's who I said that he was, and that's who I believed him to be, and that's who he ended up becoming, because it's whatever you believe. So I would love to summon him and bring him in. This webinar is going to be an expansion for both Troy and I too. As he said, we've never done this before. And if you've studied this material, which most of you have, then it's not just showing up every day for studying. It's also applying it no matter what and showing up and practicing the pivoting. And this is going to be a part of your self-image, you see, because your paradigm, if you don't know what that is, we're going to go into more detail of it here very shortly. But the programming, the part of you that isn't you, if you ever tell Troy I'm self-sabotaging, he will correct you instantly that it isn't you that's doing that, which is the greatest news, isn't it?
Yeah.
To know that the true essence of you is perfect.
Yeah.
And it's connecting to that frequency and the ability to connect to that in speed. I think of Yulin, who's not here with us today. However, her energy is here with me because I tell her, and not just her, but everyone that knows me, I love speed. That's why I moved so fast. 7 years to get to where I am today. It's fast. However, in that speed, what I've learned has been not to get to the ending because there is no end. You're never going to be satisfied. It's been about enjoying every moment. And here comes Julie, who's here today, moment by moment, right? Every thought. I actually shared that with some one-on-ones of some incredible leaders that I have the honor to have one-on-ones with. And I get to share your energy with them. This is why you often hear too that your energy, is in your name is being said in places that you're not aware of, because your energy is remembered. How you make someone feel, they will remember. Leaving people with an impression of increase. So I don't know if you have the video ready yet. I wanted to.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful. So I just want to encourage each of you. Again, we have a story with this amazing man who has transitioned, who helps us from a different dimension. And I say that at 11:11. So if you're on East Coast time, it's 1. I didn't do that on purpose, right? Yeah, welcome to the game of life. You guys are going to learn a lot today. So let's go ahead and bring in Bob, and then we shall begin.
So here we go. Let's see and feel what he does here. Here we go.
Dr. Switzer?
Oh, wait.
Many years ago.
Come in. I'm just.
Oh, wait. Hold on one second.
I read where Napoleon Hill.
Hold on a second. There was a mix up. Hold on one second. I get it overwrote that. Let's try it again. Here you go. 1, 2, 3.
Many years ago, I read where Napoleon Hill pointed out that the imagination is the most marvelous, miraculous, inconceivably powerful force that the world has ever known. And the average individual uses the imagination, if they use it at all, against themselves. They imagine what they don't want. They imagine problems coming. Let's begin to use our imagination the way God meant it to be used. It's the greatest creative faculty that we possess. And we can build anything we want with it. I want you to wander around your home or possibly your office and take a look at all of the conveniences that you have there that you didn't have, let's say, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years ago, 25 years ago. Do you know that every one of them, without exception, was first created in the mind of one individual with their imagination? Do you know you can use your imagination to go into the future and bring it into the present? That's what all highly successful people do. They see where they want to go, and then they act like the person they want to become. It was William James from Harvard's advice. He says it's the actor's technique. Act like the person you want to become. How do you do that? Well, you use your imagination, of course. You see, it's a strange phenomena, but the greatest gift we've got is used very well up till the ages of 4 or possibly 5. The little child, we always wonder what's going on in their mind. They're using their imagination. They're building wonderful pictures in their mind. But then they get to school, and wham, like that, it comes to an abrupt halt. It's called not paying attention. Daydreaming. Well, what they were really doing was exercising a phenomenal mental faculty. You see, we can see, hear, smell, taste, touch. They're for our physical benefit. As long as we're living in a physical body and corresponding with the material world, we will use our sensory factors. But you know, I have a couple of little dogs at home that can hear, see, smell, taste, and touch. We've got higher faculties. You have perception, the will, memory, intuition, reason, and imagination. These marvelous tools. We can take our imagination and build an image in our mind of how we want to live. Block out what's going now. Don't let your present results have anything to do with this. Just what you want. And it's with your imagination that you will build it. Everything that we have, the camera that I'm speaking to right now, was first created in the mind of one individual. Think of how our world's changed. You see, we were gifted with these higher faculties. We're God's highest form of creation. We were created in God's image. We were given creative faculties to use. And you know, they're only used by 2 or 3% of the population. It's almost inconceivable that people would wander around with so much power and potential and squander it. See, the average person literally tiptoes through life, hoping they make it safely to death. It's such a shame, and it doesn't have to be that way. Think we have giant corporations and little wee creative departments. And the primary reason for that is the average individual really does not believe that they're creative. Now think. Everyone's creative, and no one is more creative than another. It's just that some have chosen to use their creative faculties to a greater degree than others. Imagination, your imagination. What do you want? How do you really want to live? Build the picture in your mind. There's a power that is flowing to and through you. A creative, unadulterated power. It can be photographed leaving your body. Way back in the 30s, Semyon Kurlian, the Russian photographer, perfected a form of photography where you can actually photograph a person's body and you will see the energy glowing from them. Well, that energy flows into your mind. And it's the images you build in your mind that's going to dictate the vibration that this instrument you're living in is in. And the vibration on a conscious level is called feeling. Make certain that you exercise your imagination daily. Build beautiful images in your mind of how you want to live, and then hold those pictures there and live that way. The imagination, the greatest nation in the world, the imagination. You've got one. It's a marvelous creative tool. It deals with the invisible side of your personality. You see, no one will ever really see you. They'll only see your body, and they'll see you the great work that you do. Make certain that your work is great work. And if you keep your imagination alive, keep it active, you're going to have a phenomenal life. You know, life can get better every day, and it will get better every day through the proper use of your imagination. What a wonderful idea. This is Bob Proctor. Thank you.
We can't hear you.
I'm muted. Okay. Oh my, let's try it again. Okay, I'll go backwards. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh, that video right there is at the core of what this whole entire Majestic Mastery is about. And it's so cool how that kind of just got led into. Um, yeah, it's pretty awesome. It's pretty
Yeah.
awesome.
One of the higher mental faculties that will be activated here for you all today is your imagination, which is what Bob was speaking of. That's what I used to get me to where I am today, to get me to the Matrix 7 years ago, which started my speed journey, if you will. And that speed, once again, is the ability to enjoy the present moment, everything that's happening for you. Right? So that is such amazing news. It really is.
Yeah. You know what? All of you write that in your notes right now. This is so important. Life is happening for me. It's not happening to you, it's happening for you. Now, with this being said, I want you to pay close attention to imagination as we're talking about it and how those two different points of view reveal a completely different image. Think about that. Something happens. Some people will say that happened to me. Another person can look at it with a different perspective and they'll say this is happening for me. Now, again, the shift in how you see things is so important, and you can see the difference. You can actually feel the difference, can't you? Now, again, why this is so important is because whatever that is, whatever you are imagining to be true, is what literally starts to come to you. And this is an important thing too, by the way, when it comes down to your reality. And you've heard me say this many times, you've heard Dolly say this many times. Your reality has nothing to do with the facts. It has nothing to do with what's happening. It has nothing to do with any of that stuff. It has to do with what you're imagining to be true, which means it's all in your head. Think about it. It's all inside. And the best part is you get to make that shift. Now, there's another line as well that I repeat quite often, and I love saying this because it's incredible when you get the difference between the two. You're either a slave to your imaginings or a master of your imagination. And it's the latter that will give you the redemption that you seek. That's your redeemer. So again, make sure you're using this, make sure that you're applying this. And when we say to imagine great things, we literally mean imagine great things. Okay. And go from there.
But I'd also love to play the other video later, would be where Bob explains vibration. Because through your imagination, because it is the unseen, this is where you're inspired. So that is the true essence of who you are, your spirit. This is where you're given visions in higher or different dimensions. And then you have to, however, get back into the body, right? So then there's a vibration in which the body is in. Are you with me?
Yeah.
So, right? So when you start to practice like you're doing now in these calls with us, this is the intention set. This intention is set also for our desires, because what you seek is seeking you. And you'll hear me say a lot is collective vision. I see this as the age of empires. I say that, so that's yeah. And you are them if you're tuned into that frequency. And you can be by using these higher mental faculties, because you will have to face life's challenges. Every single one of us will. It doesn't miss any of us. Mm-hmm. And it happens just like the stories say. All the stories that we read about, if you're in our daily study, the last book we read was The Game of Life. There was a lot of stories. Why are we hearing other people's stories? Well, when you're aware that you can tune in to their stories, and as a matter of fact, and travel to where they are and to feel it all, it's almost like learning the star and Super Mario Brother, like where those are. Mm-hmm. You don't know Super Mario Brother, I wouldn't know how to describe it. So there are some ways in which, but you got to do the work. And so when it does hit the ability to, this is collapsion of time, the ability to tap into your higher mental faculties, to know that you create your own reality. And that every lesson, every challenge that comes forth before you is the implementation and the application of everything that you study every day. It's practicing being in this frequency. That's what we're going to do for the next 4 hours today. The meditations that were created ultimately were channeled, because we couldn't even control when they were going to come out, because the human part of me had an expectation of when everything should have been. And then I forgot, right, that everything is by divine timing. That things will be channeled exactly when it's meant to be, and you're going to run into chaos, just like all the leaders that you've seen. Because one thing you'll learn about my journey is that I put in 7 years ago, my little secret desire was to be behind the scenes of leaders. And that meant Dracula's castle too.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah, and I've been there. I think. Yeah, because those leaders, those Draculas, if you will, they've got secrets too. Right? They obviously, right? Like if they got to know something, and that's what makes life fun. You'll hear me say, Troy, always, like, I love how you bring up the Bergen. You know, when I'm triggered by people in I call them NPCs, mm-hmm. right? Non-playing character. Mm-hmm. Okay? They're not awake. So they're just, right? So they're going to, and you're being yourself and nothing. And you're like, what the fuck? Let me try again. And my kids even, they're a Bergen, and it allows us, once again, it's how in which we see the world. When you change the way you look at something, what you look at changes. Mm-hmm. Wayne Dyer, someone I love so much. I love his energy. But let me tell you, like, I started looking behind the scenes of him too. He's got paradigms as well. He wasn't.
Yeah, we all do.
We all do. No one's got our shit together.
Yeah, we all have paradigms. Woo, that's so true.
And it always happens right before a breakthrough. Yeah. So this is what I've picked up. And it has been through breakdown, there's breakthroughs. So I can read about it. I can study about it. But then when the lesson comes, will I remember? Mm-hmm.
That's the big question.
Yeah. This is speed. Right? When you respond, you're now tapping into that frequency that was so uncomfortable, because the old you, if you will, it's not you, the programming that wants to run, you're stopping it. So Dr. Joe Dispenza, if you guys don't know him, write his name down, because he'll bring in the quantum physics, the science part, in the most funnest way ever. Makes science really cool. About how the neurons that fire and wire together, right? The more we're conscious of it. So you can think of this like, it's like time travel. You're literally watching it like a movie. You're the main character of this movie. And then you see those, the brain neurons. So this is like the habit of how you're showing up every day. It's just automatic. And you're now conscious, and you watch it die. It burns, right? It's uncomfortable, and it doesn't want to, by the way. So the paradigm puts up a fight. Oh, but you like it here, right? And it's like, no, and instead you reinstall a new genetic code. That's what we're going to do with you all today. that meditation, the 3-part series, which was downloaded too. I actually fell asleep when I was listening to see if there was any mistakes when Troy sends them raw before they're sent to you. I fell asleep listening to them. Erinith is not on this call, but she was asking, for what meditations I listen to. I like to listen to the ones we create. And I was very childlike, very when I think of this, because my journey was completely illogical right out the gate. And it made absolutely no sense. However, whatever, and because of my willingness to burn the ships, I mean really burn them. I don't mean 1 foot in, 1 foot out. I was all in. And for me, that was when I didn't have any money 7 years ago. 0. I mean, I wasn't working. And there wasn't, I was married. I had 2 very young kids. Never heard of personal development before. And more than anything, just, and you guys can probably relate, right? Like, oh gosh, who was it? Oh, it was you, Julie. You nailed it when you said it recently at a retreat follow-up call about how you loved everyone else so much. Oh my God, I'm gonna cry. I've never heard it this way before. You're like, why don't they love me? Yeah. Oh my God, it was, and that's how I felt. I was like, I have so much love to give. Like, what's going on? Like, I'm just giving it, like, and but you see, these things happen for us so that, and for me, like now looking back, I'm so grateful for every moment. Bob Proctor showed up on a YouTube video, who you just watched a little bit ago, and it wasn't even a good video. It was, maybe we show that one too, or send it to you all, where he's interviewed back in the 70s or 80s. And it's like I was grabbing onto anything, if you will. But my intuition, there was something deep inside of me. That's why you all are here too. Like, were you listening? There's a message here for you, just like there was for me. Because had that not happened 7 years ago, had I not been open-hearted, oh my goodness. I will tell you now that what I wrote out 7 years ago was, Bob Proctor said that when you set your goal, and it had nothing to do with money, because of course, and I've seen it, with others too, I've got $1 billion written in. I haven't reached that yet. Hundreds of millions of dollars, not yet. But we're in that energy, aren't we, Troy?
Yes.
That's not by act. And more faith and belief than ever. And it had everything to do with connecting the dots, moving backwards. Bob Proctor quoted Steve Jobs. Certain energies that we can embody because it's authentic when we tune in to the truth, when we get out of the head of logic thinking. Because what I did made no sense. Having no money, not making anything, an entry-level position mindset, I was selling car insurance for Progressive. I still don't even know how I passed the insurance test because I wasn't really good at anything I didn't like. I'm really good at things I do, though. I'm really good at it, especially the game of life, which is like a video game I'm learning more and more of. This awareness, this confidence that I have had to be earned. It could not be bought because material things can be taken. I've seen it. I've been parts of million-dollar companies and been a part of growing them too. Seen behind the scenes of many things. And for us, this intention, and even us coming and co-creating Elevitality, it was because of our love of ancient history. Like, if you guys could see some of the things that we share about like what we've discovered about how amazing life can really be, this is everything we want to share with all of you. So on this powerful day of November 23rd, 2004, I played with numbers too. The reason why I say that is when I met with Bob, it was during the Lions Gate. So I discovered him in March of 2017. I made a bold decision, illogical decision, to go to a program called The Matrix. I just want you guys to pay attention to I'm just feeling called to say that to certain movies. There's going to be answers for you there as well. The investment that I made was $15,500 for a 6-day event that did not include airfare, hotel. Now, I look at you, Greg, but you've heard the story from the beginning. I mentioned him on November 11th too, and you guys have heard the story in different ways. But you see, when you tune in feeling wise, this will happen to you too. You will be at the right place at the right time, as you always are. But then you're going to remember this story, and there's going to be a feeling inside of you that's going to begin. Are you guys with me? And you're going to make a different decision. This is what I do. I summon your stories. Does that make sense? It's in, yeah, okay. uh, that investment that I made in my imagination with the stories that I told, which is part of being, it's revision. This is like time travel too. I wanted to meet behind the scenes leaders of the world today. And I truly do believe that that is who you are today. Because I've been seeking your energy based on what it is that I'm growing through today as well. Does that make sense to each of you? The intentions that we've set. Again, each and everything that Troy and I are doing, something we've never done before, we're channeling, which is really, really cool because I'm feeling it with each of you. Julie, I feel you so good.
Mm.
Thank you. Teresa, you too, sister, who just came on board. Nothing is by accident. Yeah.
It's so good. You know, this brings up again, and you're going to hear this over and over and over again throughout this whole entire beautiful, wonderful, majestic mastery event. Imagination is how you get there. All of you write this in your notes. I cannot change the past experience, but I can determine what the new one shall be like. I cannot change the past experience, but I can determine what the new one shall be like. But again, how do you do that? Dolly, you shared so beautifully many stories here where, you were led there because you went into what you call Alice in Wonderland, right? Except it's Dolly in Wonderland. Okay. So just let you know. Okay. But the whole point is that's where it starts. Think about you being here in this call right now. You imagined it first. Think about it. You imagined it. And then when you got loyal to the idea, bam, next thing you know is you took care of what needed to be taken care of so that you could be here. But I want you to pay close attention to how it started in the mind in the form of an image. Now, why is this important? Well, because when it comes to this movie that you're in called My Life, the thing you've got to get is you're the star. Literally, you're the star. And what's so beautiful, especially when you tie it into what I shared with you before in terms of you can't change the past experience, but you can determine what the new one shall be like. See, okay, fine. You can look at the script that's happened, that's been written for you up to this moment. And you know what? Say like you don't like it. Okay. Guess what you can do? You can literally go pen to paper and rewrite what's going to happen. Think about it. You are the producer, the director, the screenwriter, the financier of this wonderful film, by the way, called My Life. Now, again, where does it start? It starts in imagination. Now, I'm going to share with you a fun little story that is tied to, a lot of what Dolly shared as well. And that has to do with when I, became a consultant and ended up, Bob drove me to his house, and he was a terrible driver, by the way. He's not a good driver. Okay. He was a good driver. But with that being said, when I was there, um, I was so moved. My heart was, oh my gosh, really super, super filled. And in my mind, in my imagination, I said, I'm going to connect with you. When I was speaking to him inside, I wasn't telling him that outside. I was, emotionally involved with the idea. Oh my gosh, I'm going to connect with Bob in a deep emotional way. more than anyone else has. Okay. Now, keep in mind, that was a picture as an image. And what I was after, by the way, was the feeling. Now, what I didn't know was what it was going to be. Now, with this being said, it was still happening where? In my imagination. And so many of you who have listened to Bob, you've, been, listened to his words. He will always talk about Bill Gove. And I go, wow, who's this Bill Gove guy? I want to know who this Bill Gove guy is. And talk about him. I go, okay, I want to know who this guy is because he obviously had a huge impact in Bob's life, right? And so I went to research. I couldn't find anything, but I still held the. I did, and by the way, this ties into me holding the image of connecting with Bob. That's why I actually was looking for it, and I didn't even know that at the time. But then I couldn't find it, and then next thing I know is, I'm going, well, where else can this material be? And then I realized, and I remembered that he had records, and so I started to look up records, Bill Gove records. And then I found them. I found these beautiful records. I go, wow, this is cool. And oh, by the way, when's that happening in my mind in terms of buying them, right? I'm going to buy these. So in other words, I saw myself as owning them in my mind. I was loyal to the idea and what to do. I bought them. And these books, I mean, these records were only like maybe $35 each. They didn't cost that much. But the most interesting thing though, is that when the records got to me, I didn't want to listen to them at all. I just like, oh, they have these records. The only thing I could think about was Bob would love these. Bob would love these. Oh my gosh, he would love these. And so what I do, I packaged them up and sent them out to him. I wanted them to be delivered to him for Christmas, but it didn't work out the way. And then it ended up working out to where I actually gave them to him in person. Now remember, I'm going back to imagination, being loyal to the idea. With that being, keep in mind, I didn't know in terms of how it was going to unfold or what it was going to be, but I was still loyal to the image that there was this beautiful, deep connection that was deeper than nobody, everybody else. And so gave him the records. He even mentioned it on stage and oh my gosh, he was really excited. And then shortly after, I receive an email. I receive an email from Gina. Okay, I'm going to show you this. This is amazing. I want you guys to look at this here real quick. I received this email from Gina, and here's what it said. Hi, Troy. I asked Gina to send this quick note. I need her over the phone this morning. Gotta love modern technology. Gina is my typewriter, LOL. I wanted to thank you for the Bill Gove records you gave me. They mean so much to me. Troy, I'm very fortunate to receive a lot of gifts from clients who come to the seminars we teach. Without doubt, yours is probably the most meaningful that I have ever received. I play them constantly. Bill and I had a great relationship, starting out with him mentoring me and then us becoming good friends. He was such a great guy and was so funny. He could really make me laugh. Thanks again. I will treasure these, Bob. Now, when I received that, I was crying like a baby. But the whole point being, again, is tied to this, okay? It starts in the mind from your image. Now, what's fascinating though, afterwards, after this, check this out, my friends. Afterwards, a lot of people were going, wow, what are those records? What are those records? And then they heard about the story, and then they started to try and emulate it. Now, here's the kicker, my friends. I really want you to grab onto this. The Bill Gove records were available to everybody, even the people that were closest to him. Yet they weren't the ones that were in harmony with being able to give that to him. Now, why am I bringing this up? Well, because the reason why I did it was because I just happened to be locked onto that frequency. I didn't know I was. I didn't understand it now like I do now, then as I do now. But the whole point being is that, it was there. Think about that. Sandy could have gotten them. Brian could have gotten them.
I could have gotten them.
Golly could have got all of them. Yeah, all of them. But then it was that. And it all started in imagination. Think about it. It was loyal to the idea, and then it unfolded and took place. And I just shared with you that beautiful letter. And you can do that for you for anything and everything. But see, it's going to require you to make the shift inside and to be emotionally involved with this new concept of yourself in order for the change on the outside to happen. So important.
What I want to say is you guys are hearing the story at a different point of view if you're looking at a split movie where the story will come together. Everything that Troy has shared with you, I got to see behind the scenes. I got to Bob a different way. Our journey is going to be different, each of ours, and we have to trust once again that there will be right people, right? I think of them as characters once again. I used to call Troy Mad Hatter. I also called you, uh, and it was your ability to be in Wonderland. I didn't know it, right? Like what that character meant, because it was a feeling I was trying to put out in words. It was the chaos that was in the Wonderland, how you could bring so much order. Some of you guys in here, Tammy, you're here too, sister. Troy is your Bob Proctor, right? I mean, that's awesome. Like that's who you all are to others. You see, when you're showing up and being that light. Amina is not here, but some of you guys know her, and her and I summon her as I say her name in this room here with you today. Her and I were very similar in like what happened when I found Bob Proctor and when she found me. And it's the feedback. It's the universe giving you the numbers 1111, 2222, 3333. These signals. Because the way that I traveled to meet with Bob, because it was interesting because Troy and I were interested in, I was taking pictures of every book he held, right? I was in the studio also too, but I was too afraid. So Troy got a lot closer. I mean, I was in the same room. Sometimes it was just like me and him. But luckily, not luckily, I'm just so grateful that I can now travel back and I can actually feel everything that Bob was saying that he didn't have to. I mean, he had been studying this for over 60 years. There's so many people that Troy and I know that has taken this material and they are completely, it is, I mean, miracle. A word just to describe. I know that you say there's no such thing, or not you, but can you say, can you say that about miracles?
Oh yeah, there's really no such thing as what we call a miracle. Because a miracle is a word that we use to describe an outcome that we don't have an explanation for. For instance, I mean, think about someone who maybe has, for the first time, sees a plane fly if they've never seen a plane fly or never seen anything like that, and now you have this big chunk of metal. And by the way, that's really crazy, huh? When you think about it, it's this big chunk of metal flying in the sky. And some people, if they didn't understand the physics and stuff like that, they would say, "Oh my gosh, it's a miracle that the thing can fly." Well, that's what that is. It's nothing more than something that we say to explain something that we can't explain. So, with that being said, there's no such thing as a miracle. There's no such thing as impossible. Like, for instance, I'll give you an example with regards to medicine. A lot of people, doctors, and say, when it comes to a diagnosis of some kind, they'll say that's an incurable disease, right? When it's not true. There's not a single disease that is incurable. What's missing is the awareness of how to resolve the issue, to shift, the vibratory state inside, to change the structure of everything that's happening within the body so that it does let go of what's not in harmony with health. The whole point being is that though it's there, the way to heal, there's no such thing as an incurable disease. There's no such thing as something that's quote unquote impossible, as what most people think. And by the way, all of you write this in your notes. Write this in your notes. Impossible is an opinion. It's an opinion. Don't make it yours. And you can write that into your new script as well. And so there's no miracle. Same thing with regards to luck. Those who say there's luck, they just can't explain it. It's some people will think in terms of, for instance, getting the right lottery numbers. Oh, you're lucky to get those. No. Well, you can call it that if you want to, but really what happened was is they just happened to be on the right frequency for whatever those numbers were. So, yeah. So for all of you, when you grab onto that, make sure that, you can deliver what other people call miracles if you'll just tap into what we're sharing with you and then you use it. And we're seeing it, quite often in ourselves too. I mean, there are some changes that I've seen in me, Dolly's seen in herself, I've seen in Dolly, she's seen in myself, we've seen in you, of which if you looked at your former self not too long ago, you say, "Oh my gosh, it's a miracle that you're even doing what you're doing." But really, is it? Or is it that you just shifted what's been normal to you? You see? See, have you shifted the patterns in your life? Have you shifted that self-image? And actually, that's what you've done. All the things that you're able to do right now that you weren't able to do before is because of that shift of your identity, which is, that narrative that's happening inside. It's your character. And what's your character? The sum total of your thoughts. And that's what we're here to help you with, help you to see, oh my gosh, you can change that. This is why I had you writing your notes. I cannot change the past experience, but I can determine what the new one shall be like. How do you determine the new ones? It starts in the mind, in the form of a new image, an image that's not in harmony or sync with how things have been, a new concept of yourself. Who's the one who said that? You cannot change things by fighting the existing reality. The way you change things is by creating a new model that makes the old model obsolete. Oh, did you catch that? A new model. Where does that got to start? Oh, it's in your mind in the form of an image. Think about that. It's not there in the physical world. But if you want it to be in the physical world, it's got to be in the mental world first. But see, this is where that cycle of more of the same. What did he say, Dolly? The circle of sameness? What was his name who said that? Well, I forgot his name. That one guy that we watched. He goes, and we live our lives in the circle of sameness, where
Oh,
yeah, where we're thinking, we're imagining more of the same things on the outside, not understanding that all that's doing is reinforcing the very same image and the patterns that are leading to that specific outcome. Terrible way to live. How do I know? I used to live that way, and sometimes it still sneaks in. But with that being said, shifting to thinking from the inside out and creating the image and being loyal to it, see, that's what has helped to make it easier. And remember, the way you get good at anything is through practice. So this is why we're going to continually say to you, okay, practice this, practice this, practice this.
hmm.
Right.
That's such great news though, isn't it? Because the way you just re-explained it, all of it is the co-creation of all, of it. Even me, what I had to use, I made illogical decisions, like I said, and the way I was able to invest, no one knew how I didn't tell a soul that I took it out of a 401k. That someone that I had helped years ago, back when I was in my 20s, this is where the dots connect all the way. Uh, Tom Collins, I talked to you about that. He was someone I was very kind to, and others were not. And I used to drive him to this masonry. He was in the Masons, and I would drive him there to the lodge all the time. But people were really mean to him because he had gastro bypass and he would fart all the time and just really cruel. And anyways, the point though is that he told me, I remember he looked at me and he said, "Open up a 401k." I was like, "No way." I was making good money. I was like, "Hell no, I'm not gonna." It was $60 every 2 weeks back in 20 years ago. That's a lot of money. And he said, "I promise you one day you'll thank me." I swear to God, his name is Will. Like, I don't need to swear. I know you all believe me. And he was right. 20 years later, or whatever, 16 years later, or whatever it was, that's exactly where the money was when I needed it. And I remembered him because what you put out, you get back.
Mhm.
And it was the best investment I ever made. And this is why I can stand so boldly to others and say, you know, upgrade your system, right? Like you guys all invested today. If you're on a guest pass, you're investing your time, which is most valuable thing you have. It didn't make sense, the things I did. I was, like I said, not gullible, although that's what my, others around me would always say that. You're so gullible. You're I just wanted to keep believing in this fantasy that it could be possible. I watched videos on YouTube. Bob Proctor had a dog named Dolly.
Mhm.
My real name is Dolly. It's not short for Dorothy, although it's fitting because I love Dorothy. But he would hold Dolly in his kitchen and he would say, Dolly and I can't wait to see you. We're looking forward to spending time with you. And I'd close my eyes and I'd be like, that's my Merlin. We're like this. And we can't wait to see you guys. And then a couple months later, with this illogical move I made, I was at the Matrix, and I was in his kitchen. And I remember when Bob found out my name, he goes, you look like a Dolly. Now, it wasn't like celebrity. If you all being on this call, you understand it was an energy. I remember everything about him, the way he smelled, his suit, the way the air was, the atmosphere. I remember everything. Now, yes, I also spent $15,500. So everything was wide awake, right? Like but is that possibly part of the game? That what you fear, right? The cave you fear to enter is where the treasure that you seek is, like Joseph Campbell. The one you said was Buckminster Fuller. I'm so proud to say I know that one because that was my favorite quote I carried with me everywhere about building a new model, building a new model, building a new model. I take you guys there with me when I share these wins with you. We talk about this in our inner circle groups, about tuning into the wins of others because it's not to impress you. It truly is not. When Troy is sharing with you what he's telling you, oh my God, I really wanted to get close to him. This is what I wanted to do. This is what I did. That's not to impress you. It is absolutely to impress upon your subconscious mind that you are one with that win. If you get out of the head and you go into your heart and you embrace the win with him, your body recognizes it as if it was your own. It doesn't know the fucking difference. It's like a placebo effect. Are you with me? That's why when there were certain homeworks that were given to me. Serenity. So many of you guys have, Julie, master writer. Over 30 days. That's not easy. Teresa, you wrote yours 2 days, right? Like I remember it's not easy to do these exercises. They're simple concepts. They're being channeled though. They're being given to you. The universe is speaking to you like it did to me. The question, however, is, are you using your higher mental faculties the right way? Because the principles are always working. You're always manifesting. And the greatest news about that, it truly is that you can co-create the miracles. To others, it will be a miracle, but for you, you have an understanding. I did when Chris Murray told me, write Serenity every 30 days. Okay. The next thing I know, I'm pulling money out of a 401k and no one knows I've done it. And I was really scared of my husband. And then who the heck was I to do that? I wasn't even earning any money. Am I crazy? This could be an inheritance to my kids. And I was at rock bottom mindset wise anyway. But I called out, right? Like, yeah, the signal when you call out, when you ask, you do receive. Are you willing, however? Imagine what that leap was like for me. My car was worth less than $1,000. My investment, do you remember what I said? Now, if you guys know anything about 401k, do you know that you're penalized twice? Penalized for taking the money out early, and then penalized because that's earned income. So that was going to go on top of my husband's income. We'd always gotten money back for taxes. It was like expected to get it back. We weren't going to get it. And he had no idea. Do you know how scared I was? You know what people around me were saying? They're saying, and I was like, you guys just want my money. Because they were like, marriage is not, you don't ask for permission. What is it? The rest of it? Shit, I forgot. It's a partnership. Bob would say it's a partnership, not an ownership. That's what he would say. And now I put it all back. My life obviously is very different than what it was before, but it was my willingness to die for it. Are you with me? Let go, let God. I was like all in. I was at rock bottom though. I've seen some leaders not be at rock, and they're just, that was so impressive. And that's why too, if you guys watch any of me and any leadership, any followings of great, I'm in the front row. And if I can, right, I'm behind the scenes with them. I will pay the extra to be in touch with them. I want to touch them. I want to talk to them. Right. And that's what Troy did too. And I'm a witness to testify to his story. I watched him do those things. As a matter of fact, we can go back. There's pictures of us at same table that I didn't even know we were at. I was like, you're at the same table. Let's take a picture of the back of your head. I do remember though, even before that, where this is a funny story that we've shared in different seminars, at webinars, where Troy, I've always seen as a director. When I met him at a table, he had his shit together. That's the character that I felt. And I was like, oh my God, this guy must be doing like Broadway or something. And your method that you taught me, I use that. You're here and this is where you want to be. And you know what we were doing? We were rehearsing. And this was back like 6 years ago. So I started the journey 7 years ago. 6 years ago, we were students of the material. I mean, I was a baby. Like I had no idea what I was doing. And no language whatsoever. And this move right here, the one that I'm showing you, I bridged and have guided so many people because of that.
Yeah. I love that. And I share this frequently. And where I got that from was Bob. There was some that he teaches. This is where you are, this is where you want to be, and what do? You get to work, right? And this reminds me also of something else that I love to share that's tied to that, though, and it comes from Les Brown. And again, this ties into making the shift inside of you. Okay. Now remember, we're talking about the automatic narrative inside of you, the pattern, the paradigm. Remember, that's what's stopping you. You are not stopping you. You are not in the way. You're not holding you back. And for sure, you're not self-sabotaging. That's bullshit. Okay. So it's not true. Okay. There's no such thing as self-sabotage. You are not intentionally jacking things up. And that reference that Dolly's talking about again is it's very simple to get, but then again, it's not easy. Again, so this is where you are. This is where you want to be. This is the new self. Remember, you cannot change the past experience. This is how you've been living. This is what you're used to. And you're wanting to go here, okay? But this is what your conditioning is. But with that being said, you only need to know two things to get a different outcome. You just need to know where you are and then the result, and then what do you do? Let's get to work, everybody. Let's get to work. Get up there. But then we don't do it. I know if it's so simple, so obvious, why it's so difficult? Well, again, the reason is because of the conditioning, is because of all the thinking that's been happening here on this frequency. And you're trying to do this up here, thinking like this, it doesn't work. Now, what Les Brown said, which is extremely important, that's tied to this, which has everything to do with you rewriting the script. He said, if your dreams, okay, your dreams, whatever's up here, or I should go the other way around, right? So if your dreams, whatever is here, what you would love for your life, is different than the story you believe about yourself. And what is that? That's the beliefs and habits. That's the story that you've been written, that you're telling, and more specifically, that you're telling subconsciously. If your dream is different than the story, the thing you've got to understand is your story will always manifest itself. It always wins. Write this in the comments, or write this in your notes. My story always wins. The story I believe about myself always wins. Now, remember, when I'm talking about belief, we're talking about what's in you subconsciously. We're not talking about intellectual belief. Oh, so many of us think that that's where it's at. Nuh-uh. You never ever act on the things that you intellectually believe you can do. The only things that you act on are what you emotionally believe. And that's another beautiful lesson that we got from thinking into results, which is tied into praxis. Okay, there's two different kinds of beliefs. There's intellectual belief, and then there's emotional belief. The emotional belief is what matters. Now, with this being said, let's go back to this. If your dreams, what you would love, is different than the story you believe about yourself, whatever you're allowing to stay there, okay? The thing you got to understand is that your story will always manifest itself. It always wins. Now, what does he say from there? He says, most people, okay, here's the dream, here's the goal. Most people change the dream. Okay, look, let's lower the dream. Let's lower the dream to match the story, right? Oh, that's just too much. Oh, let's make it easier. And then they start lowering the dream to match what they know they can do or think they can do. Bob refers to those as A and B type goals. They lower the dream and keep the story, keep the beliefs, keep the habits so that it's in harmony with how they've been thinking. Now, I want you to notice that image, that picture, it's more of the same. Is there any excitement in delivering more of the same? No, there's not. But that's what most people do. Most people change the dream and they keep the story. They keep going on with the same script. It's like Groundhog's Day, right? How many of you seen Groundhog's Day? That's a funny theme for a movie, right? And we've seen it many different ways. See, they change the dream and they keep the story. But then what does he say after that? He says, but you don't have to be like most people. Write that in your notes. I don't have to be like most people, which means I don't have to think like most people, which is how most people think. They think from that way. They change the dream to keep the story. Don't. What does he say? Keep the dream. Keep this. Change the story. Change the narrative. Allow yourself to see the arc shift. And by the way, with regards to movies, have you ever noticed that the movies that you truly love are all about a story where you actually see the transition? You see, oh, that's yeah, it led to this, it led to that, it led to this. The movies that piss you off that you don't like are all of a sudden you fall in love with this character, and then in a very short period of time, they're doing something completely different than what you've seen before. You don't see the character arc. You follow me? You see how many, that happened with me with The Walking Dead. I would watch it and then the writers got lazy and then all of a sudden you'd see Daryl doing something that he would never would have done. Carol doing something acting she would never have acted. I'm going, who are these people? Who are these people? But it would have been okay if they showed us how they got there, but they didn't do that. Well, the whole point being is that you can make the change if you'll just allow yourself to start rewriting your new story. Remember, you cannot change the past experience, but you can determine what the new ones shall be like. So with this, let's lead them into an exercise here. Okay? Exercise. And I'm going to put this in the chat for you to see here. We're going to put some music on. And some of the stuff that we want you to dive into are answering these two questions, okay? I'm going to put it there. What are some recurring patterns in your life? Okay. What are some of the recurring patterns in your life? And then the second one is, what aspects of your self-image need transformation? I'm going to put some music on, okay? Say, what are the recurring patterns in my life? Go ahead and write that out. Again, it's in the chat. And then secondly is, what aspects of my self-image need transformation? And then after we go through this, then we're going to go into a meditation with what you've written. Okay? So I'll go ahead and put on some music here. And me and Dolly will keep our cameras on as we're writing this out ourselves as well. And then we'll go from there. I'm going to play this one. All right, here we go. Just like a movie, right? Here we go. And remember, what are the recurring patterns in my life and what aspects of my self-image need transformation? right. All right. Here we go. You guys need a little bit more time? Okay, okay, good. Then I'll put on some more music here so you can get a little bit more time here. Just go for a few more minutes. I'll put on another song here. All right. So how does it feel as you're starting to point these things that you want to change out in your life? How does it feel as you've been diving into this? Let's pull up someone, shall we, Dolly? Sound good?
Sure.
All right. Let's pull up Annette.
Yeah, hi, it feels really good because I have the impression that I could dive deeper into what has keeping me kind of busy in my thoughts for some time. And yeah, now I know that it's really time in case that it's still kind of holding me back, that I'm going to resolve it.
Mm, that's good. So it's kind of neat, huh? You're identifying. Remember what I shared with you? There's only two things you need to know to get a different result. You need to know where you are, and then the outcome, how you would love it to be. It's really it's nice to organize it, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I have already been working on this, and at the same time, I can still feel the difference between those two levels.
Hmm.
And at the same time, I'm staying positive because I know that the most important thing is to stay positive, even though it has not yet manifested or realized in my life.
Hmm.
Because if I won't stay positive, I will get far away from it.
Hmm.
So I stay positive, and I'm convinced that it's going to show up, and that I won't have to wait too long for it.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, that's beautiful. You're sharing an amazing understanding about how it works. That's awesome. Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, let's pull somebody else up, shall we? Here we go. Hi, Teresa.
Hello, Troy and Dolly. How are you?
Fantastic. I'm going to read what does it say on your sign behind you? You
Oh, it
don't.
says you don't have to see the whole staircase, just take the first step.
Oh, that's so good.
So, suppose my recurring patterns, which I've just realized and recognized myself, is that I avoid and spend time with myself, getting that quiet time, because I always hide behind my voluntary work, my job, my children, my family. And probably that's part of my self-image now because it's my time to shine. So it's my time to believe in me and hold myself taller
Mhm.
as well. So I am the master of my life and the creator of my story.
That's awesome. That's so true. I
Yeah.
love how you shared your perspective on it and your understanding of it. That's amazing. Feels good, doesn't it?
It does. 'Cause I didn't realize that until I sat down and actually, I kept, why am I keeping myself so busy all the time? Because whenever I do get those bouts of time, I actually enjoy, like even just taking the dog out for a walk and being in the present moment, being in the forest and noticing the sunshine through the trees, listening to the water and the stream. Those are things sometimes we don't look at because sometimes people want when they go out for a walk, they're trying to get their steps up or they're trying to do this. Or sometimes we slow down and look what's around us and take in nature, which we have inside us. We have the universe inside us and sharing that with other people.
Mm.
So
I love listening to Irish people speak.
thank you.
You're saying certain things. I'm going, oh my goodness, that sounds so cool. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. Your energy is
Thank you very
beautiful.
much. Thank you.
So Zan asked a question, Zan or Tom did, do the patterns include progressive and productive patterns? Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And by the way, all of you write this in your notes, Kay. There's always a better way. There's always a better way. So you can write the patterns that are really good as well and start to write, ways to improve upon them. That would be wonderful for you to do. So Dolly, you pick the next one.
No. Greg,
Okay, where's Greg here? Hold on a second. Where is it?
triple G.
Can you pull it up? You might have him faster than I do. Hold on a second.
Okay, yes, of course. Let's see. Oh, it says it's going to remove all other pins.
Oh, there we go. There we go. Hey, Greg.
Hey guys, going through this really makes me feel like I know who I am and being able to move forward because I have always seen myself in a different light, right? I got to look for the story that I tell myself and the reason why I'm not making it to, where I want to be. And it really has a lot to do with me going from one idea to, or, um, entrepreneurial idea or business to another one without making the first one successful because I want to jump to the next one because I don't bring this one to fruition.
Mm. So when you say, I always see myself in a different light, can you expand on that a little bit?
Well, I see myself in a different light now, right? I mean, it's
Oh,
a different
now
story,
with
right?
this. Okay, good.
And it's because I see this as a continual pattern of mine. And
Mm.
I've kind of known this for a minute, it's something that I've thought about before in the past. And now I've like put it down on paper and I'm like, wow, this is really true about me because I've thought about this many times and this is actually the way that it is for me. So that's one of my limiting beliefs.
Wow. That was a beautiful adjustment. So I was asking that question because I wanted to see exactly where you were, and it's really awesome how you pointed straight to that, oh, you know what? I can see myself differently. I don't have to continue with this, the way that it is. And this brings up an important point for everyone here, by the way. The light that you see yourself in is being revealed in your outcomes and your results. And the best part is you can change that by consenting to a different image on the inside. So that was amazing. Absolutely amazing, my friend.
And I just wanted to add too with the meditation, that we'll be going through. Remember, whatever you believe, you'll prove. And so you could also say you're rewriting that genetic code. This is why you're releasing that today.
Mhm.
Yeah, very, that's awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, I have someone I want to pull up here. Here we go. Where is, let's see what you got from this. Alejandro.
Alejandro.
Hello, everyone. How are
Hi.
you?
Great, thank you.
So my patterns that I wrote down is improve my relation with money, improve my savings and the amount of money I kind of reinvest. Also having uh, uh, having a stronger intention and focus, like in everything I do, like do everything with a clear intention and expectation instead of just getting busy with everyday work. So it's
Mhm.
basically focus and improving my my relation with money. So those are the
Wow, I
two.
love how you shared an image of how you would love it to be. This is really awesome. Really, really awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty great. Feels good, huh, when you're able to identify it, but now the work is what's got to take place though. But
Mm.
it's cool to identify it, huh? Because now you go, oh, okay, this is what I have to change. And this again brings up that whole exact that thing that I shared with you. Okay, you just need to know where you are, and then where you want to be, and then you get to work.
Exactly. Yeah,
And
yeah.
then this is where we're going to help you to get to do the work. All of you write this down, okay? Because to do the work, you must first be. So in order for me to do, I must first be. You've got to claim the identity first in order for the outcome on the outside to change, to be in
Yeah.
harmony with how you'd love it to be. That's got to be something that you allow yourself to step into. Thank you so much, Alejandro.
Thank you.
All right, let's go with one more. There we go. Caroline.
Hi, it's Caroline. I'm flashed. I'm flashed by this exercise. So my word is, what was your question was, how does it feel? Mm, yeah, I see myself in a different light. I see myself in the light. I'm in the light of this group and this evening. I'm blessed.
So what if you are the light?
Yeah, I am the light.
Yeah,
I heard it before. Today, yesterday, I don't know. I
yeah,
am the light.
yeah,
And when I am the light, there's no darkness anymore.
yeah. This is amazing how this has come into this part of this call. How many of you have heard that before in a religious context? I am the light of the world. Okay. That you know what that's a reference to? It's a reference to your imagination you. That's the light of the world is to be able to imagine things that are not here in the material fact.
Yes, and the light contains all of the colors. You read this last week
Right.
in the book study, in the master, how's the name? Master Key System
Yeah. Amazing.
book.
Yeah.
I love it. Thank you
Thank-
so much. And this is only the beginning.
That's right. Thank you, Caroline.
Thank
So,
you.
y- Sheldon put in the past, I've bounced from project to project before the first was seen to fruition. Okay, so now it's, the new images you complete. And not only do you complete fast and effortlessly and efficiently, right? Amazing. Okay, Dolly, is there one more you want to pull in
Oh,
before we?
sure. If I get to pick, I'm going to pick Brent.
Oh my gosh, I was just looking, my mouse was literally over him right now. There he is. Hey, dude.
Hello. A recurring pattern that's in my life that I want to remove is I tend to focus on getting financially stable and getting money, and then I get a certain amount and I just kick back and I spend it and I relax and all that, and then I run out of money. I'm like, oh, I need to go get some money. And I'll go out and go get some more, and then I run out. So I'd like to not do that anymore. I'd like to just have it um, all the time, consistently. And then the other thing that you said is what in self-image needs transformation. And so I want to see myself more so and be a successful consciousness coach that's able to transform people and myself very quickly, to be able to change vibration and the present now and how I'm breathing, feeling, living, thinking, imagining, and have that completely change. Because I know if I have a lot of money, nothing changes. I mean, I don't change by having money. I just take myself to that place now where I have a lot of money and I'm just going to spend it again. And I'm not going to be able to help anybody. And that's not what I want. I want to help people. I want to help people grow. I want to be a great coach or consultant, or be able to do what we're doing here and help people to just change quickly. Because there's, I've been studying information with you, Troy, and with other, a lot of other things. It's like, hey, I want to change now. I want to change tomorrow. And I love the whole imagination, being God, and just if I can just grasp that in 100% and just be 100% with that, I will change quickly and quicker, and I'll be able to help other people. And why? Because there's a lot of people suffering, a lot of frustration, a lot of people have pain. And I feel like if I can do this and understand it well myself, I can help bring love and peace and give people like a new beginnings of their life. Like they will have, a new life, a new life, and they'll know how to do it. And I know this is one of the steps, being on calls like this, studying with you guys. The morning meetings are, there's words that can't really don't describe the impact that it could have in someone's life. And so that's where I'm at right now. Thanks for asking.
Wow, this is the first time I think I've heard you say that you want to be a transformational coach.
Well,
That's
I
pretty
kind of got
awesome.
that from the retreat. Remember, I walked away like, and I thought it was maybe going into hypnotherapy. I don't know. I want him to. I already know what it is. I just don't know what it is. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm going to be a butterfly. I'm a caterpillar. I just don't know what color my wings are going to be. I don't know how big I'm going to be.
Wow. Oh, you're muted. Yeah.
I got all coming in, so I couldn't hear anything. But we're all going to be way more than we are. So if I can imagine it, right?
Yeah.
Holding my hand, holding my mind. I just feel like there's got to be a quicker way to do it. Like when we went on that journey and I was able to change some things in my life immediately. Like that's out there. Like you said, maybe not understanding how it works, or like the disease can be cured. We just don't know the vibration. There's nothing that's impossible. So, yeah, I don't want to cry, but I'm not gonna. So yeah, I want to do that, and I want to be that.
Those are good tears, though, my friend.
Oh, hold on, I can't hear anybody.
Oh.
I don't know. I got a phone call, and then my volume went down. Are you
Yeah,
there?
the volume went down. It went down, but we could still hear you. So.
Can you hear us?
I don't like the phone call that came in. I can't hear anybody now. Anyway,
Okay.
I will jump off and jump back.
Well,
Okay.
there's something I want to say to Brent when he does come back off
Yeah.
and come
Okay.
back on. Yeah.
Okay, I can hear if I pull it right to my ear.
Okay. Can you hear us?
When you're on.
Okay, we won't say wax on, wax off.
What? Oh, wax on, wax off. Are you talking about? Okay, go. I want to hear.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I'm going to take my ear off the video.
Okay, but can you hear us still?
Yes, I can hear you now in my ears on the phone. Thank you.
Hey, you have a cat in
Uh,
your ear.
Thanks for your patience.
No, what I'd love to say is that I've had the honor to be behind the scenes with Brent, who is a dear friend of Troy's that you guys have known since junior high. I've seen what you were willing to do, and then I also know personal stories of what you've been able to release that some people never do. And that again goes back to the pricelessness of what we do. It has nothing to do with the material things in which we get, although we are worthy of it all. And Brent, I just want to say to you, it's just been a true honor to see you. And it truly is in divine order. Like all the things that you've been shifting is so that you could lead others too. And so, and I do recall, you've been discovering more and more of who you want to be. And that's what Bob Proctor said. That's what opened up me when he said, if I want to be free, I have to be me. I better know who me is. So thank you
Thanks.
so much for sharing that. And we here in this intimate group on this beautiful, powerful day, for those of us who do believe, if you
Thank
believe
you.
it, it'll be true for you. We're holding that vision with you. Yeah.
Thank you.
We love you.
I
You're so cool. You're so fun.
I want
You guys got to go meet this guy. There's no wonder they've been friends that long.
to. Oh, that's very kind of you. I just, yeah, appreciate you so much. I want to change really bad. I do.
You are.
I know. I feel
Okay,
like
so here's the
there's
answer.
so much more to
Here's the
do.
answer. Here's the answer, Brent. I'm gonna tell you exactly what Bob told me. There's no other way but through the will.
You got this.
Okay.
Okay, you want to change, and he said it crystal clear. You want to change fast? There's no other way but through the will.
Okay.
Got to hold
Thank
the
you.
image, be loyal to it, and obviously, yes, you do have to believe, and then from there, it'll take place. I remember being at a lunch, and somebody asked him if you can change the paradigm quickly. Because most of us, when we think in terms of changing the paradigm, which is the conditioning, that it's through constant spaced repetition. But he says, oh no, you can change it overnight, dependent on your faith.
Okay.
Okay, which is
Thank you.
rooted in the belief. So yes, it can.
Yeah, and it has happened for you, which is why it's not a miracle, and we've been witness to it, which you even revealed yesterday to our group,
Yes.
right? And that is, I mean, again, I say miracle because I'm trying to find the word to describe all these breakthroughs that you've had already. So imagine now how much further you can go. As I said to each of you, I've set my intentions with the energy that's here today. This is not by accident. This is all by design. If you believe that to be true, what I just said.
Yes.
Cool.
I
Then we
do.
got this.
Thank you. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
Thank you. Bye, kitty, kitty.
it. I'm
He's
gonna
here.
jump off and come back on so I can hear you
Okay.
guys.
Okay. Oh my goodness. So I think it's about time to start the first meditation. What do you think?
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. All right, so all of you, I'm going to go ahead and go center stage here with regards to this. Now, remember, you wrote down some of the habits that you have, the recurring patterns in you, and positive or negative, right? In most cases, we probably wrote the negative ones and the ones you wanted to change. And then also the adjustments that you would love to take place in your life. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go over this meditation. So make sure you're sitting up straight in a comfortable place and allow yourself to step into this. Okay, it's a beautiful meditation, the first of three, which is going to be really, really awesome for you if you go into it to use it. And that's the key component. You got to go into it to use it. All right, so you're ready to go? All right, here we go. Here we go.
Close your eyes and take a deep breath in and slowly let it out. With every exhale, feel the weight of the day melting away. Let your shoulders soften, your hands relax, and your body sink deeper into this moment of stillness. Take another deep breath in, and as you exhale, imagine your mind becoming clear and calm, like a still lake under a quiet sky. Feel the cool, gentle air brushing against your skin, grounding you in this present moment.
Picture yourself stepping into a grand theater. The lights are dim, casting a soft golden glow across the space. The faint scent of polished wood and velvet fills the air. You can hear the quiet hum of anticipation, as if this place is holding its breath for your arrival. Before you stands a majestic velvet curtain, shimmering as though it holds the secret of your life behind it. Reach out with your hand and feel the fabric. It's smooth, heavy, and alive with potential. You sense that by stepping beyond, it will reveal the life waiting for you to create.
As the curtain rises, a shimmering portal appears before you. It glows with vibrant colors that seem to ripple like water, inviting you to step closer. Feel the subtle warmth of its light brushing against your skin, and notice how it fills the space around you with a comforting hum. This portal is a gateway to your higher self, the part of you that holds infinite wisdom and clarity. It beckons you with the promise of discovery and transformation.
As you step closer, the glow of the portal intensifies. The energy seems to wrap around you, tugging gently at your curiosity and courage. The colors swirl in patterns, alive with motion, inviting you to cross through. Take a deep breath and reach out. Feel the energy tingling against your fingertips as you step through, entering a world of limitless possibilities.
On the other side, you find yourself in a breathtaking landscape filled with vibrant colors, more vivid than you've ever seen. The air is rich with the scent of blooming flowers, and the soft sound of a flowing stream calms your spirit. Feel the earth beneath your feet, firm, supportive, and warm. This sanctuary is uniquely yours, a reflection of your inner self, where all the possibilities of your being are revealed.
In the distance, you see a figure standing tall and radiant. As you walk closer, the presence becomes clearer, emanating a calm and steady energy. This is your higher self, embodying the wisdom, strength, and clarity that have always been within you. The gaze meets yours with kindness and knowing, silently inviting you to step closer.
Your higher self extends a hand, and as you take it, a wave of warmth flows through you. This connection feels like a steady current, grounding you and awakening your limitless potential. The gaze deepens, and a voice rises within you, speaking these truths. I am aligned with the infinite possibilities within me. Every step I take is filled with purpose and clarity.
Your higher self gestures toward a golden pedestal where a glowing script and pen await. The pedestal feels smooth and cool as you place your hands on it. The script represents the story of your life as it has been written so far. As you lift the script, notice the faint scent of parchment and the weight of its history. Scenes flash before you, moments of doubt, fear, and hesitation. Yet as you look closer, you see these moments have shaped your journey. You whisper your gratitude and place the script gently on the pedestal, watching it dissolve into golden light.
The dissolving script leaves behind a soft glow, as though the lessons of your past have transformed into pure energy. Feel the warmth of that energy radiating through you, lighting the path ahead. Your higher self gestures toward the blank script, waiting for your touch. The golden pen feels warm and alive in your hand, vibrating faintly with potential, ready for the story you are about to create.
Your higher self stands beside you, a presence steady and unwavering. A glowing pen is extended toward you, carrying an invitation to create the next chapter of your story. The voice resonates clearly within, offering these words of guidance. I am the architect of my reality, shaping my world with intention. Challenges are stepping stones leading me to greater strength.
As you begin to write, the landscape around you shifts. The air grows lighter, the colors deepen, and a sense of renewal fills every breath. Each word you write seems to ripple outward, shaping the scenes of your new story. A life of clarity, joy, and boundless possibility. Your higher self gestures toward a mirror in the distance. The motion feels deliberate and full of meaning, drawing your attention to the reflection awaiting you.
The mirror shimmers, reflecting more than your physical form. It reveals your essence, a truth you have always carried, but are only now seeing fully. The presence beside you radiates quiet encouragement, as though saying, "This is the truth of who you are, fully realized and ready to shine."
A radiant hand from your higher self rests over your heart, and warmth flows deeply within, sealing this moment into your being. The presence conveys these truths with a calm yet powerful vibration. I am worthy of the life I desire, and it is unfolding for me now. My inner vision creates the reality I experience.
Your higher self's presence draws near, and a luminous hand rests gently on your shoulder. Warmth radiates from the touch, grounding you deeply in the truth of your transformation. A quiet voice resonates within, carrying a message directly to your heart. You are stronger than you know, and your journey is unfolding perfectly. Your future is a masterpiece, painted by your thoughts and actions.
Your higher self gestures toward the shimmering portal. The light surrounding it seems to call you back to the present moment, wrapping you in the wisdom and clarity you have gained. Begin to feel the surface beneath you and the air around you. Wiggle your fingers and toes gently, reconnecting with your physical surroundings.
When you're ready, open your eyes. Now take a moment to reflect on your journey and consider journaling any insights or steps that came to you during this experience. Wow, 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 wow. So, how was that for you, first of all, right? Wasn't that amazing? Wasn't that beautiful?
It was awesome.
Okay, wait, I know that voice. Where are you?
It was me. I just said it was awesome.
Okay, so we're going to pull you up on the stage for that.
Okay. When I was going through it, I just felt such a peace. It was like, I don't know, it was like a transformation. I can't really describe it. It was like a transformation in my mind. It was like an invitation. Here's your next chapter. Write it as you please. Whatever you want, you can have. It's like a whiteboard or like a to-do list and whatever. But then I saw images of things of my goals and things that I wanted to do and where I wanted to be. And I was in the place and doing it. And I thought about something. I remember saying, I want to be able to do a presentation in front of people. I want to be able to do that. And at DHS, I have done that. I do it. I just don't have the title and the pay with it. And I thought, well, that's kind of weird because I thought about this years ago. I, yeah, it's come to fruition now. It's just not where I want to be as far as title and pay, but here I was there. I
Mm,
was all over the world traveling. I could work wherever I wanted to work. I could command the boardroom. I was exactly what I wanted to do, title, pay, everything. And I was all over the world, everything I had wanted.
mm.
Differences, I was really there, if that makes any sense.
Yes, yes, yes.
I literally was there. Yeah, you get it. I was there in my mind, literally.
That's awesome. And this is a big deal, by the way, because what we're going to do right now, I'm going to put some music on. And
Okay.
it's very important that all of you start writing down these other downloads that you were getting, okay? Because I'm certain that through this, if you dove into it the way that you just did, Dana, if all of you have done that, there are some other things that came up. Okay, so let's take some time right now to go ahead and write down what those are. Right, Dana, write down exactly what you just talked about, okay? In terms of,
Okay.
all right? So I'll go ahead and put on some music here, and let's go ahead and do that. Okay. It's gonna be about 5 minutes, okay?
Oh my goodness.
All right. So, how many of you, as you wrote down these things that were downloaded into you, found it to be even more powerful than when you first started? Much, much different, right? Let's pull up Sandy here. Hi, Sandy.
Hi, how you doing?
Incredible. Thank you.
It's funny, I felt peaceful as well, but I also felt empowered, strong. I can't read my own writing. I should write, not print. I'm a better writer than a printer. Determined, on top of the world, hopeful, encouraged, and loved.
That's good.
So, yeah, it was very powerful.
That's amazing. Big hugs to you. I love that you said that. So good. Wow. So, so good. Let's see who else. Let's pull up somebody else too. Uta, hi. Who's your magnificent friend?
Rod, can you hear me?
Oh, yes, we can hear you beautifully.
Awesome. Cool. Hi, guys. This is Regina,
Hi, Regina.
a longtime friend of me. I think we know each other for 20 years. Also a ski teacher. Huh? So actually, I can put this really in a sentence, in a nutshell. And this is, I am safe in my power. Becoming aware that I never felt safe being in my power, that I have to feel, that I was more raised to be ashamed about my power, having this kind of habit, mental habit that powerful people, in particular powerful women, are not welcomed. And you know what? This color from the retreat, which was so frightened, right? At the beginning, this red and orange, where I had this feeling of being on the top of a tower, 100 meters, with 100 meters fall. I don't know how to express this. It feels more like I have to get comfortable with this. You know, I mentioned yesterday already that I understand somehow more and more that this shift from our old in this true being where we want to be is might be frightening. Yeah, so that's why we take a step back. Somehow I can express this. I hope that you can feel this. This smoothens. So this power to accept this and to understand that I am safe in this power and that I'm not denying it anymore, and to play small or feel ashamed or saying, sorry, that I'm so powerful. Sorry. Yeah, no, it felt really good to trust. This is something what I'm going to be is, to remember me, to remind me that I'm feeling that I am safe, period. I am safe in my power.
So good. I am safe in my power.
Yeah.
So beautiful. Thank you so much, Uta.
Thank you.
Awesome. All right. We can go with one more here. Jane, rising. Rise with Jane.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Okay, so what I felt was just a huge sense of joy, peacefulness, calmness, happiness. And as I was going through the meditation, I felt that I was being shown that I have many people who will be seeking me out. I was seeing face after face after face just changing in front of me, and that they were going to be seeking for my help through the oracle. So it was just a real sense of peacefulness for me, and an affirmation that I am getting ready to step into something bigger than I even know or can sense. A lot of purples and reds and golds coming before me, just like flashes of them. So it just really gave me a sense of knowing that I am on my path and in the right direction.
That's really, really good. Doesn't that feel great?
Yes, it does.
So good.
Amazing.
Wow. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh my goodness, Dolly. Wow. This was an eventful first 2 hours, wasn't it? How many of you got a lot so far out of these first 2 hours, right? Raise your hand, put in the comments hearts, or if you can do this, then do this. Woohoo! Yeah. This is just the beginning, though, in terms of, what's coming next, because we're going to go deeper into the present moment and then into the future, and seeing it expand. But with this being said, I do definitely want to say again, thank you so far for all of the wonderful, beautiful vibes that you've been sending us and for trusting us. I think that actually is the biggest thing, right? Trusting us to be able to help you. Yeah, really awesome.
Thank you. We'll see you guys on the other. We're going to take a break.
We're going to take a break. Yeah, it's going to be about 40 minutes, and then there'll be a timer that's on the screen that'll show you how much time to keep this room open. Okay, keep this room open, and then we will start in about at about 12:40. All right. So, my friends, have a wonderful, beautiful break. Go get something to eat and then move from there. Okay? All right. Talk to you soon. See you soon. Amazing.